Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tradesman Experience. This is the podcast built by tradesmen for tradesmen. My name is Josh, and across the table is, of course, Mr. Nate Newton. Nate, how are you, sir?
Glorious day, bud. It's been we're back on football practice, so mornings are a little hectic, and so this past week we just moved to 5 days a week instead of 3. There's some fucking reason they took the kids out of pads again. Some whatever governing body there is for high school sports, because it was the first day of practice for the season. Technically, they had to reacclimate, go back to helmets, and now they're back in shells, and it's just fucking. It's beyond me, man. I'm there. I'm like, I can't let them hit each other anymore for the next couple of days. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
We're gonna have bare knuckle boxing matches then. Oh, that sounds awful.
All right. So yeah, with that stuff, and dude, we're full fucking swing right now. We're setting steel at 3 custom homes simultaneously right now. We have ornamental going on at 4. We have 2 tilt-ups going on and a bunch of miscellaneous other shit that's just like pickup work from other projects that, Oh, and we have an apartment complex going on. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, State Street's full swing.
Yeah.
So,
I was informed that I'm going to get to meet that super at some point up at State Street.
Yeah, what the fuck is that guy's name?
Yeah,
I don't think I've even met him in person yet.
Well, his boss said that I would get the opportunity,
right?
So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, there you go.
But are you guys? How much ornamental do you have going on right now?
We got a bunch of railings, 1 small stairwell. We're supposed to be putting in 2 separate floating stairwell cases in another house, but we haven't gotten any design stuff from.
What does that mean?
Floating. So we embed a beam into the wall and all of the runners. There's like a steel plate that comes out and they put a hardwood top on it. So, but then they want glass railings down the side and stuff. It's going to look really good when it's done, but they're just like, hey, how much for this? And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Right.
You guys are to put drywall in. We got to cut the fucking wall out, and that's going to change all the engineering as far as all of your studs that are in the walls. Like, you want that beam.
Is this an afterthought?
Ish. Yeah. They were umming and ahhing over it months ago. And then now they're like,
because I mean, the leverage, right?
Yeah, you got to put a chunky beam in there. And you got to put some really good, we'll probably use like a 3/4 inch plates coming off of that beam that they'll mount their hardwood to. So, and then we have to figure out some way to get the railing attached to that without attaching it to the top of the hardwood. So, it's, a lot of this stuff gets designed on the fly, but I'm like, dude, there's engineering involved with this one. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless they decide to go cantilever or something, that'd be a different story, but. Yeah, but those are cool. Shitload of ornament, shitload of railings. We have a couple of gates. Somebody took out Zib's gate.
I heard,
dude, that poor woman. She fucking loved those gates.
Yeah,
and had to uproot that whole one side.
Yeah,
I feel really bad for her. That sucks.
Rebuilding that one.
Yeah, dude. But the thing was, it was matched so perfectly, dude. It was set perfectly. And to replicate that's going to be difficult. So we'll do our damnedest, But so I mean, there's a lot of that going on. We have forestry service gates that we're building too.
That's kind of an annual thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they kind of pop up every year. It's usually from Herback General Engineering. They do a lot of paving.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the highways around here, they'll close them in the winter, or if there's a substantially bad storm, they'll go out and close the highway, and they have those big forestry service gates that they use for them.
And isn't September or October is fiscal year for the government? So they're approaching the end, so spending money. Trying
to get them done and put in. Well, the best part is that they put these really fancy, they spent $50,000 on this initial set of gates that had big old flashing lights. They were automatic, so some dude in a control room could just push a button and close the road. Well, the outstanding winter we just had, the snowplows destroyed $50,000 worth of gates.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
What are they putting back?
Dude, those 2 DOT guys don't give a fuck.
Hey, if I was in a truck as long as they were.
Oh, dude, they're delirious as shit.
Yeah. I assume they're operating in some hypnotic state.
Oh, yeah.
Watching the snow push.
Oh, dude, and when you've been up for 24 hours, you're trying to drive through the snow like that, especially if you got wind and it's coming sideways and switching directions, dude, that shit fucks with you so bad.
I thought I knew what a snow truck was until I moved out here. You see those snow trucks up at Tahoe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're behemoths.
They're 2-3 times the size of the ones where I'm from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you got some poor bastard out there with a fucking electric plow on the front of his F-250 trying to clear out parking lots and shit.
A lot of them. I have a couple clients that do snow removal.
Yeah, dude, in the winter because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You know, and there's good money in it, you know.
Well, Tahoe shuts down after October 15th.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of construction, dirt moving, all that's done
until like March something.
Right. And it can snow October or earlier up there. So do you believe there's still snowpack up there?
Dude, I don't think it's all going to go away.
It is crazy. Yeah. We were at the wedding, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to Kyle Jarbo.
Yeah, and Vicky.
And Vicky. That was probably the best reverse sunset that we've had.
Right. Dude, it was killer. And that wedding, dude, everybody, because, you know, we work with Kyle in the industry. He's a project manager. And, dude, it's weird to be at a wedding with 300 people and you know almost everybody there.
I knew a fair amount, so I assumed that you probably knew everybody there.
Yeah, just about. There was a couple of people I met that I didn't know, but yeah, dude, that was the ceremony was like 10 minutes or something.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
No, they nailed it. Great backdrop. I mean, we were close to Foothill Road, just south of Genoa.
Yeah.
It was an awesome time, and I enjoyed it because I got to actually talk about, you know, construction and what I do and being around tradesmen. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Can't go wrong with that.
No, it was a lot of fun. I fucking had a brain spasm. I was going to talk about something else.
Okay.
I know what it was. We're going to be at FabTech.
Yes.
Just reminding people that we're going to be at FabTech in Chicago.
Yay.
Yeah, we're going to be there. I've gotten a couple inquiries about the coaching, and I do want people to know that I am taking new clients, and I'm sending, as of this recording, I'm sending an onboarding. I have an onboarding process for my clients that I just revamped that I had you read when you came in tonight. I'm sending that out, but I just want to let people know I am taking on new clients.
You had some graduates?
Yep. And, you know, everybody's been super busy this summer and continuing
just
to
like
be.
Every summer.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I understand that when it's peak season, there's less time. You're going to spend less time working on the business. I mean, I've had clients continue all the way through, but I know fall is coming up and those positions are probably going to get filled because as the season turns, people start looking at their business,
right?
At their profits, at their revenue, at their team. Do we need to fire? Do we need to hire? Yes, there are positions available, but let's have a conversation, see if there's something that we can do together that's going to help elevate, your business. Tonight's conversation, we talk a lot about recruiting on here, casting a wide net. Your story is one of the best examples of recruiting. They pulled you out of a Chili's.
Yeah.
When you are engaging with anyone that just kind of has that attitude, has that, sense of confidence or whatever about them, have a conversation with them. You thought about getting into fill in the blank.
Yeah.
So how you got recruited is, again, it's one of the best examples of casting a wide net. There's a lot of positions that you can fill in a company by doing so. You should have that position clearly written out.
Detailed.
Roles, responsibilities, expectations.
I think I heard that somewhere.
Skill set, requirement, and compensation. Okay, a lot of those are going to, the compensation is going to probably have a little bit of a range. That's fine. Skill set, you need to just identify minimum skill set requirements for the position. And you need to create that. That way you can have effective conversations with people to find out if they are a good cultural fit for the position that you're hiring for. When you look for a top performer, all right, if you need a leader in your company, or you need, let's just say if Battleborn needed a top end fabricator, all right, if I was looking for a high level journeyman that I could send on a rooftop unit or a walk-in refrigeration unit, and could also diagnose grandma's 2-ton AC unit. Those people, so the conversation we're going to have tonight is, how do you find those people? How do you get those people on board? Because casting a wide net, you rarely catch the big fish.
Right.
Okay. So first you have to identify, again, exactly what position you think you need to fill in the company. You also have to recognize that that person is already working somewhere. That guy's not, that guy, that gal, that individual is not at home scrolling through Indeed or ZipRecruiter or Monster or whatever any of them are, hoping to stumble across a job. All right. Does that mean that you shouldn't be posting jobs on there? No, post them on there. It's a good wide net, casting a wide net kind of thing. But you have to recognize that individual is working.
Yeah.
So who's the perfect candidate for that job? Someone that loves their job and hates their boss.
Yeah. Right. There's plenty of those floating around. Yeah.
That's who you're looking for. You want to find the person that loves their job and hates their boss. Or hates their culture, hates the fucking stupid son-in-law, or that's working there, nepotism.
Right.
You want to find that individual. And you are correct. There is a ton of them out there.
Right.
There's people that go up every day and go, man, I love what I do and I'm good at it, but fuck, I hate that guy.
Dude, do you have any high quality people that has run out of the industry? Like they really feel like there's nowhere to go because culture has been so lacking within these industries that, people just throw their hands up and they're like, dude, fuck this. I'm done. I'm going to go find something else to do.
Yeah.
And whether they loved it or not is irrelevant. If you're fucking miserable every day, but you just love the task, nobody's going to stick it out for that,
No, because at the end of the day, that doesn't make them happy. I had one of my clients recently. I had this conversation with them, and he said, I'm going to post a job opening up on all of these different sites and whatnot. And I said, okay, good. But I said, I'm going to tell you, put something on there, just like what I said. Literally put in the title, do you love your job and hate your boss? Right? Let's have a conversation. Here is the position that I'm looking to fill. Make that your headline. Don't put on there looking for journeyman welder, looking for journeyman HVAC technician.
Right.
Because that's what fucking everybody else says.
Well, I mean, just by saying that, it shows how you lack culture. Like if you can't be fucking laid back enough to put some smart ass bullshit up there.
Right.
It's this very like robotic.
If you can't spell refrigeration, do not apply.
Oh shit, I'm fucked.
But shit like that. That's the reality is when you just copy paste what everybody else is doing,
you're going to get what everybody else gets.
That's right. Use the wide net. Be a little bit creative. Identify and recognize that you know exactly who you're looking for, but now you can start to kind of laser focus your recruiting. One of the best tools of recruitment, especially when you're looking at for a high performer, is the delivery guy, the truck driver.
Right.
Okay, because who talks to everybody on a job site? The fucking truck driver.
Right.
He's talking to the shot caller. Right. He's not talking to me over in the corner pushing a broom. He's talking to the person that's making a decision on the job site. So that's one. Because if the delivery guy likes you and knows that you have a good culture, he's absolutely going to help you recruit.
Right.
Because he may show up to that job site the next day, drop off a bunch of material, and go, "Hey Nate, how's it going? Just another fucking day with an asshole boss," And he's going to say, "Hey, I was over at Josh's shop yesterday, and they're looking for a top guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just planting that seed.
Right.
Your truck driver, your vendors are another good source.
Yeah, when you say planting that seed, dude, like to just let people know that there's a way out, because I think a lot of people feel stuck. They're like, fuck, I can't make this money doing anything else. This whole industry's fucked. Not all of it, man. Like, actually, I know these guys over here that I fucking love going in there. Like, dude, like our UPS driver, Danny, he just sits in there for like 20 minutes.
No, the first time I saw him, I just assumed you guys hung out.
Right.
I swear to God, that was my impression. I'm like, oh, they're friends.
Yeah.
It's your UPS driver.
Dude, there was times where he was the delivery driver at my old house, as well as at the shop. And he'd come in and be bullshitting. I'm like, don't you got packages delivered to my house, motherfucker? Like, those better be there when I get home.
But that's, that shows that you have a good culture.
Mm-hmm.
The UPS driver wants to hang out for a minute. Mm-hmm. The territory sales managers, okay, that's another recruiting tool. Mm-hmm. You've got guys that work for these vendors that are going in. And, they come into the shop, oh, the owner's not there. But, so my install coordinator and fabricator was AA Ron. They're going to talk to AA Ron. And, if he catches AA Ron in a bad mood, hey, man, I hear, have you heard anything about Nate's shop? Yeah, I've heard about him. Man, they're looking for a top fabricator. Mm-hmm. Again, planting that seed. But you have to be more specific about your avenues of recruiting when you're looking to bring in a top position. Mm-hmm. Because, again, that person's working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like some company just went under out of nowhere and there's just high quality people just meandering around the streets.
So this was something that we ended up doing. So this was not taking credit for this, the brilliance that unfolded. When we bought the HVAC company, we did a purchase of assets, owner finance. That owner came to work for us. AA Ron was the guy we bought the business from. And he ended up being one of the greatest assets to our company. And he was absolutely one of the leaders. One of the top leaders in my company was AA Ron. Mm-hmm. There's a guy who owned his own business for probably 15 years, single owner operator, and didn't want to fucking do it anymore. Mm-hmm. Sold us his shit, came to work for us, probably made more money,
right?
And he didn't have to deal with the headaches. Mm-hmm. He was so fucking happy coming to work every day.
Right. Because he knew his day ended when it fucking punched out, right? Yeah.
And also, I give full credit to him. He embodied our culture and our methods of leadership. Mm-hmm. He really embodied it. And I think he was one of the catalysts for our culture. Because had he been, the opposition, yes, I would have had to fire him because we weren't contracted to employ him. Mm-hmm. That was something that we agreed on outside of the contract. Mm-hmm. But he really embraced the culture and the things that, that I was teaching. And he had, almost twice the amount of years experience than I did. And yet he decided to show up every day and enter into fellowship with me and leadership with, the rest of the team. And just salt of the earth guy. AA Ron's one of those guys you see and you just want to hug him. It's like that guy likes hugs. He's just one of those guys.
Yeah.
But that's another example, with somebody that just didn't want to do the business anymore and was much happier in a position, in a role. And he's, when we started, he elevated into the install coordinator position. It wasn't from day one. But as we grew, the company grew, became more successful, we elevated him and then created this install coordinator position. He ran the install teams.
Oh, no shit.
So, he worked closely with the salespeople at the sales team, and then he ran scheduling and staging and fabrication of ductwork and all that kind of shit for the install teams. He would work closely with Mom and D on certain things, but that was his department. Mm-hmm. And, that install coordinator was a very valuable position for me.
Yeah.
So you can find people too that just don't want to do the business anymore. And when you offer them
an out,
when you offer them an out and they don't feel like a failure, right? Because a lot of people stay in business because they don't want to feel like a fucking failure. I mean, let's face it. A lot of people would rather face death than failure.
Well, and I can completely see why it feels like that. But dude, if you're fucking miserable every day, if you're sitting here listening to this podcast and you try to implement the stuff that we talk about, and you still just fucking hate going to work, running your business, get the fuck out, dude.
Absolutely.
Do not destroy yourself like that. Quit fucking sacrificing your life for shit you don't want to do. And fuck, dude, there's other instances in life where that's a good motto to run by, but dude, if you're not loving what you're doing,
yeah.
Fucking, you could enjoy a lot of us would go into business because we were really good at the craft and we really loved the craft.
That's right.
And then we get into business and we just fucking hate it. Well, dude, like you said, fucking sell the goddamn business and go work for somebody that's doing better than you at the business side of it, right?
One of the misconceptions, let's talk about ownership for a little bit. One of the misconceptions of ownership is that you have to be in the top position. Just because you own the company doesn't mean you have to run it.
Right.
You can hire someone to run your company. You can hire someone to do sales. You can create systematic operation. If you want to be in the tools, I love being in the tools. I mean, there's just an enjoyment to the craft, right? But if you want to own the business and not operate as the owner, that's okay. If I can pay people, I didn't like doing sales. I fucking hated doing sales. So I hired fucking people that did it.
Right.
Right. My business partner was really good at sales and he enjoyed it. So that was a plus for me. But when we needed another sales guy, I didn't take that fucking role.
Right.
I would sell to people that I knew. And then occasionally, I would step outside of that and I would, sell certain jobs, especially until we got that salesperson. I'm going to fucking do that job.
Right.
So I hired someone to do it. So if you own a business, you should enjoy what you're doing. For me, I fucking love operations. It is one of my strengths, which is why everything I teach is leadership and operations, because that's my wheelhouse.
Leadership. That's
an oxymoron.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm good at. Those are my zones of genius. Those are things that I enjoy doing. I love looking at operations of a business and going, okay, we need to move this piece here, create this system here, fire that idiot. Let's create a position and fulfill. Like, I fucking love that shit. That's business to me.
Right.
But if you don't enjoy doing that,
why are you doing it?
Yeah, you need to hire someone to do it because you're devaluing what you bring to the table and you're devaluing yourself. And when you don't give yourself permission to fail and you feel that you have to embody all of the struggles of the business and the positions yourself, that's really a recipe for disaster and depression and alcoholism and poor relationships and a really bad life.
Yeah. Your kids are going to hate you.
Oh man, your significant other is going to hate when you come home because
you're going to hate you.
Well, you come in and you're wearing the fucking day. You're wearing the day on you, and people can see that. We went into the social club a few weeks ago, and the event coordinator, she come out, and I looked at her and I said, "You're wearing the day on you." And she goes, "Can you really tell?" It's like, absolutely, I can tell. I'm sure everyone else can tell too. We think that we hide it so well,
right?
And that we can withstand the storm. It's like, look, there's better ways. Back to recruiting, looking for that top tier position. In the example that we're giving, if you're that top tier position and you need to hire someone for sales, then do that.
Right.
Put yourself in that position and hire someone to replace you. That's absolutely an option.
Right.
The conversation, so we've talked about recruiting a little bit through vendors and, finding, your business owners through your territory sales managers, kind of how to broadcast that on the interwebs. Let's talk about the conversation that you're going to have. As I stated, you're going to have to define the role and everything, but it's going to be more terms and price than compensation. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me give an example. If you come to my business and I'm recruiting for this ultra high level technician or leadership position, there's a high probability that you have a number in mind. Mm-hmm. Okay. And for sake of the conversation, let's just say that that's $50 an hour. Mm-hmm. All right. And you know that's your number and that's what it's going to cost me to get you to move. Okay. If you give me a price, I'm going to give you terms. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your price, my terms. Mm-hmm. Not your price, your terms.
Right.
Okay. That's you can't negotiate that. Mm-hmm. So we can come to the table with your price and my terms, or my price and your terms. Mm-hmm. If I say, okay, well, I can go to $40 an hour, you're going to start giving me terms. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I don't want to be on call. Mm-hmm. I can do this part, but I don't think doing this part. So now that's what we're going to negotiate.
Right.
If you come to me and you say you want to make $50 an hour, and these are my terms, I may also tell you that starting at the $50 is, I can't do that right now, but here's a package. Mm-hmm. Here's a compensation package worth $50 an hour.
Right.
I might give you a company truck. Mm-hmm. Pay your phone bill.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever, insurance, whatever it is, I might give you a package that's worth $50 an hour and we can negotiate on that. Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Yeah. Because people don't realize that, you're not making more money by just increasing your income. You start bumping up into other tax brackets and shit. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at this from the other end of the spectrum, when it comes to that person, if you're going out looking for somebody that's hiring mm-hmm. A high quality position and you are a high quality person, dude, just getting more money isn't necessarily more money. You want to alleviate certain things that you are spending money on, and you'd realize how much more money you make doing that by getting your fuel bill covered. Mm-hmm. Because that's flexible, dude. There might be times when it's $6 a fucking gallon, dude. You know how much that's worth at that point?
Yep.
Like you said, because the thing is, your income, you're being taxed on your income. So why not get all this shit paid for pre-tax? Mm-hmm. Especially if you're making $55, $60 an hour.
Right.
Dude, that's really going to fucking, if that's just part of that package, that's really going to save you on the taxation side. Mm-hmm. I mean, they can't pay your fucking rent for you, but, I know of general contractors that give a truck allowance.
Right.
Of like $600-$700 a month.
Right.
And it's like, as long as you put the company logo on it and you carry this level of insurance, cool. Here's and it's a tax write-off for the company, and you're not paying it with money that you were taxed on.
Yeah.
It's a fucking win-win on a tax scale.
Yep. Yeah. No, I love that because that's smart negotiating. Mm-hmm. That's being strategic. For you to make, whatever it is, let me think if I can do this in my head, but, $50 an hour straight up or $40 an hour plus fuel, plus phone, plus benefits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay less taxes on $40 an hour and have more expenses covered. Mm-hmm. I'll take that.
Right.
I will definitely take that. Mm-hmm. With price negotiating too, you can look at commission or profit sharing. Mm-hmm. And the difference is commissions on the front end, profits on the back end. Mm-hmm. Okay. If that position has the opportunity to sell or generate leads, you can give them a commission. Mm-hmm. All right, off of those job specific. If you're going to do profit sharing, then that's after the work has been performed. Mm-hmm. The work's done. It's through the books. It's probably a quarterly or biannually or quarterly. Let's call it a payout or bonus. and profit sharing. So the profit sharing is going to be on the back end, commission is going to be on the front end. That's something that you can write up, you can create, you can agree on that. It might be $35 an hour and 10% profit sharing.
Mm-hmm.
It might be $30 an hour and 20% commission. I don't know. A lot of these numbers are we're just making this shit up as we go.
Right.
But take those different options and create the opportunity to negotiate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make sure you're educating. If you're the one putting all this stuff on the table, make sure you're educating them and what that actually looks like. Because it's like, oh, here, we'll cover your phone bill. And he's like, fucking $150 a month. Like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, okay, but understand the tax advantage here, because when we were in the pipeline industry, I owed almost every year,
right?
Because we were miscellaneous 1099 for our rig. And so it was like you were trying to write as much off as you could.
Right.
If you just have the company fucking do it for you.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, the headache, for one. We have a CPA that we spend a lot of fucking money with that, he's handling all that stuff already for us, All of a sudden you're filling out a 1040 EZ at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
So that, that $10 an hour split, and based on our examples, is about $20,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at that, and if you're going to come up in $20,000 in overall benefits,
and again, it's a straight 20,000,
right?
Yeah.
Maybe if it's a company truck, or if you're doing $100 a week fuel allowance, well, that's $5,000 of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cell phone, well, that's $1,200 of it, $1,300 of it. You're looking at insurance, well, that's fucking $6,000 of it, right? So you can look at these additional benefits, and you can spend that $20,000 gap
pretty fucking quick.
You can, and again, especially if you have the ability to provide company vehicle, because now it's not just fuel; it's oil changes, it's tires, it's maintenance, it's wear and tear, it's fucking everything in that vehicle.
Especially if it's a diesel, because anytime anything breaks on that thing, it's $1,000.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you have to be able to create those options for people. Excuse me. So and you need to do that because you need to be prepared to have those conversations. Again, that person's working somewhere, and that person may not move for anything less than a $5 an hour increase. That's not your call.
Right.
What's that worth to you? $5 an hour is $10,000 a year. Payroll burden and everything's probably $16,000 to $17,000 a year. You're not willing. You're telling me that position, if you've got your system structure, that position is not going to pay for itself.
Right.
No fucking position, no revenue generating position in a company should cost you money.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. People don't see it because they're not looking long term. They're looking today. Like, fuck, this is going to cost me money today. Yeah, so is not hiring high quality people.
Yeah, you're working 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Yeah,
that overtime bill is pretty fucking hefty, and you'd be surprised. Like, we're at the point now where we're on 510s. When we just brought 2 team members on, but the alleviation that those 2 team members have provided, that saves us a ton in overtime, And being on a 410 schedule, all that little piddly shit that comes through the door that we don't want to deal with, they can come in on Friday and do that shit for cash money. So it's like, fuck, dude, they're set up, they've got the opportunities plus us covering shit for them,
That's okay. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one of the other points that individual is going to negotiate opportunity, because they are most, again, leaving. They may be leaving because they can't go up anymore, because it is a family owned and operated business, and only family gets promoted.
Right.
Which is retarded. But I mean, I'm all for family owned businesses, but
yeah, do it right.
You want to put that idiot, or is, the best part of him ran down mom's leg, and you want to put him in fucking charge.
Right.
That's how you kill a culture. And I experienced that. So you got to be able to provide opportunity. What does that growth plan for that individual look like? If you've got somebody that's negotiating, $35, $45, $55 an hour, they're going to negotiate a growth plan.
Right.
If not, then back to your point is you need to educate these people because they may be coming to you out of frustration. Yeah, motherfuckers didn't give me a pay raise the last 3 years. You know, if I just make $5 more an hour, I'll be happy.
No, you won't.
No, you won't. That's not going to solve your problems. But educating them and giving them options and opportunity, now you can help solve their problems because you're going to help them identify what their problems really are. You can go as far as doing a personal budget form for this individual. What I've learned from personal experience of doing this and having a company is people think that making a couple extra dollars an hour is going to fix their financial problems. Financial problems are not a math problem. It's an attitude problem
or a habit problem.
So
the more you make, the more you spend, right?
Yeah.
That's what happened when we got into the pipeline industry. I went from serving tables to, fucking making $38, $40 an hour. I was still just as broke as I was serving tables,
Yeah. The more you make, the more you spend, or the more you borrow. And so you really do need to have kind of conversations about lifestyle, affording lifestyle. But again, if you're looking at bringing this caliber of person into your business, this is your fucking business. Yes, you need to be having these conversations.
Yeah.
We would get letters from government organizations. Hey, they owe child support. It's like, God damn it. Oh, they have this debt that's went to collections and now they're garnishing their wages.
Right.
So now I got to pull you in and have a conversation and be like, hey, oh man, God damn it.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure, there's a line of legality, but the point is it's your fucking business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you need to be doing background checks on people. I think that's important too. You don't want someone that likes fucking peddling kids to run service calls in an HVAC company.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Put them in a burning dumpster. That's my vote.
I second that. Yeah.
Really try to hold back my views here, Nate. But no, you have to be really deliberate and you have to be intentional. And again, you're talking about a position that is going to move the needle of the company more than any other position. Potentially more than your position.
Right.
When it comes to the daily operations, they may move the needle more than you. So you just have to be really intentional of having all of this stuff lined out and be willing to negotiate it. And my final point on that again is, you come to me with a price, I'm coming to you with terms.
Yeah. That seems fair and simple, right? And with using the negotiating tactics we just talked about, it doesn't seem that fucking hard.
No.
And, you have to be strategic, of course, but it's not that fucking hard. It's wants and needs and expectations of your employees, of your team members. You'll do that with your clients, but you don't do that with the people that work for you.
Right.
Dude, and you know what? You could even revisit this shit with the high performers you have on your team now, to find out if you can get more out of them, and what that compensation package will look like, and we all need high performers right now. There isn't a fucking industry out there that doesn't need them.
That's right.
How do you elevate the people you have within your organization? If you have 6 people that work for you and you can elevate all of them 10%, that's going to alleviate some of the fucking problem, right? Not all of it, but that's a good chunk of it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, your example, simple math, is if 6 of them and they all elevate 10%, or if 5 of them do, and you've got the dirtbag that's only doing half of his work, guess what? It's a fucking wash. You get rid of the dirtbag.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And now your productivity is the same. I think personally that, if you get rid of someone and you're able to operate with the same number, with a lesser number of people, I think you should spread that wage out.
Yeah, for sure.
A $20 an hour guy that you get rid of and now you got 5. That's $4 and that's $4 an hour pay increase for everybody. I personally think that you should share it, because I have so many just random conversations with people, not just in the coaching, but just conversations with people that they always feel overworked and undervalued. And I had gotten in this conversation, I think it was last night after the gym. And I wish, it was one of those moments, I wish I had a microphone, because I was talking to 3 coaches at the gym, all completely different industries, completely different careers. And they were all talking about the same thing. Man, I'm doing the work of 3 people. I don't feel valued. There's no clear expectations. All they do is micromanage us. All they do, dude, I was sitting there just fucking mind blown, because they're all saying the same thing that everybody's saying. And, you know, the young lady that said, you know, when I left, they actually hired 2 people to replace me. Why couldn't you pay that individual what you're paying 2 people to do the same job? Why can't you? You're fucking, you're going to end up paying it at the end of the day anyway.
Yeah. And this isn't like, just start throwing money at people. Evaluate these situations with them. You know, this is why fucking team meetings are so good to have. It's like, hey, man, why am I fucking doing this and all this other shit? And like, I don't remember that being in my job description. You know, like, give them, you know, in the war room conversations, you know, they get to air those grievances, and then you get to have that conversation. Because there's a lot of people out there too that think they're worth a lot of fucking money, and they don't do dick.
That's right.
You know, and that's why, when, you know, especially if it's in a group setting during a war room conversation or something, they get to say dumb shit like that, and everybody else go, hold on, you don't even have to do it. You know, the rest of them be like, motherfucker, no, you don't.
You don't. Did you know that you're the last one here every day, by the way?
Right.
Which the tardy, that's a conversation I'm shocked that I have as often as I do, is tardiness. And we'll have the conversation, and they'll say, do you have that tardiness form? And I'll email it to them. Yep, here you go.
Well, dude, that's the dumb thing about it. It's that, you know, as much as I want to motherfuck the people that do that, dude, society hasn't held them to any sort of a standard when it comes to that. Like, when I was a kid, it was life or death being on time. My dad was in the fucking Marine Corps, and he was a cop. And dude, he used to, all of my watches, my shit in my truck, everything set 5 minutes fast. Like that, because I look at that and I'm like, okay, cool. That makes me 5 minutes early everywhere, right? But it was life or fucking death to be late, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was a big deal. And to see people just casually stroll in, like, oh, yeah, I woke up a little late, sorry. And I'm like, whoa, you motherfucker. You were supposed to be on the road 20 minutes ago.
Punctuality should be in everyone's expectations. When you're doing job descriptions and stuff.
Yeah.
Punctuality.
And we've had that discussion with our teams, you know, and it's, everybody understands that.
Yeah.
You know?
And to your point, people don't have to be told, they have to be reminded. You're going to have those conversations multiple times.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember, like, there's been 2 different people that they showed up late, and like they come in crying. They're like, I am so sorry. Like, don't fire me. It's like Matt just has them fill out the form, doesn't say shit to them. Just fill out the form.
Fill it out.
Yeah. And then they get to, you know, they already know they fucked up. Don't need to harp on them. You know, don't sit there and tell them it's okay, because it's not okay. You know,
it's not. When I was I can't remember if I told this story, so I'll just tell it again for fun.
Easy old timer.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
I was the assistant super on that that big urgent care center. They put me in charge of the day laborers. And I had been there for several months on this job already. My superintendent, he was in charge of the day laborers, and I think he just got tired of fucking around with him. Plus, to be honest with you, he didn't need to be spending his time.
Yeah, fucking on day laborers.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about, that's top of the totem pole to the bottom of the totem pole. There's too many things in between going on. So I show up to work one day, and he says, hey, you're in charge of the day laborers now. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks. You know, I was a little sarcastic about it. I said, what do you want me to do? Make sure they do this, this, and this. Okay. So I go in the building. We've got this individual that goes through about a 30-pound bag of floor sweep a day. So since I was in charge, because they were hired to clean up, it was in the contract, they were not allowed to use power tools.
Okay.
So take out trash, sweep the floor. If we needed them to do something outside of that scope of work, we kind of had to write it up.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm in charge of this dipshit, I investigate the entire building and discover that he's only been cleaning about 3 rooms,
Jesus.
which is where most everybody is working. The nurse's station, the front lobby area, and a couple of the exam rooms. The rest of the building is just completely neglected. So I pulled him over. I said, hey, get all of this floor sweep up and make sure it's clean. The flooring guys are moving in tomorrow. Don't put any more floor sweep down. Okay, do you understand? Yep, I'll clean this up. Don't put any more floor sweep down. Okay, perfect. I circled back probably right at about 4 hours later, and he's spreading floor sweep in the area that I told him not to. And I said, hey, we're not putting floor sweep in here. The flooring guys are coming in here. And he fucking blows up at me, fucking throwing his hands in the air. God damn it, doing this goddamn fucking job for 4 months. And it was just going on and on. I'm like, okay. So I just look at him like he's an idiot. So he storms off. I thought, okay, he's going to the superintendent's trailer. So I follow him in there. He's yelling at my superintendent about me, telling him how to do his fucking job. Fucking grabs his shit and quits. He lasted 4 hours with me and fucking quit his job.
Well, it sounds like it was more like 10 minutes with you.
Yeah.
Other than that, he was just doing whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah, that's very accurate. So anyway, my point of this is from that day on, every time they sent me a day laborer, I would meet them day one, introduce myself, find out what their name is, and I would tell them and say, all right, I've got 2 rules. Don't no call, no show me, and stay busy. I'm going to walk you through the facility and give you a breakdown of what you're going to do. You good with that? Yep. So we'd walk the grounds, we'd walk inside the building, and then I'd start them on a task. You're going to start here, clean this, take this out to the dumpster. Anyway, in about 2 months, I go through 6 guys.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
On no call, no shows?
On no call, no shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then they send me this little guy with this big bushy mustache. And his name is James. First day there, James rolls up. My superintendent calls, hey, day laborer's here. All right, so I go out to the trailer, introduce myself, and he told me his name. I said, James, I got 2 rules. He said, don't no call, no show, and stay busy. And I looked at him, he goes, word's getting around. And I said, okay. You want to take a walk of the place? Yep. And that son of a bitch gave me his heart and soul in that job.
Sure.
I mean, if he was going to be, because he had to take public transportation, if he was going to be late, he texted me. Hey man, bus is running late, whatever, I will be there. And he was. Every fucking day he was there. I had set very clear expectations. And then, part of my job was just to manage those expectations. And we ended up working together for probably 3 months.
Shit.
And, that dude showed up and like I said, he fucking gave me his heart and soul. And you never know how you impact people. And I walked in the nurse's station one day. We're getting close to final touch-ups, like paints on the wall.
Punch list. Yeah.
And I walk in, this son of a bitch is leaning against the fucking door frame.
Ooh.
Across the nurse's station. James, get off the fucking wall. He had a swagger about it. This dude was like fucking 70s swagger, just man, I tell you what, man, and so he comes over and he says, man, he said, I was 17. He said, I enlisted into the Army. And he said, I couldn't grow any facial hair. He said, I went in. One day in boot camp, I decided I wasn't going to shave. He said, I didn't have nothing on my face anyway. We go out. We're standing in formation. drill sergeant comes out, walks in front of formation, looks at me, makes a fucking beeline all the way over to me and goes, "What the fuck is on your face?" He said, "You remind me of that guy." And, I talked to my super. We called his job, his employer. We ended up getting him a pay raise.
Oh, nice.
On some shit. And my last day on the job, that son of a bitch gave me a hug.
Oh.
And he was like, "You're the best leader I've ever worked for."
Shit.
And I've never seen him since. His phone, he either changed numbers or got disconnected. And, he lived a very impoverished lifestyle and had made a lot of bad decisions in this earlier part of his life coming out of the military. And, but
he might be dead. Shit.
He might be. I honestly don't know. I think my point to all of that is, if you're not setting the example, you can't expect anyone to follow you. You also, I think one of the lessons I learned in that is not to judge a book by its cover. When you give people opportunity to show up and perform, and you have that standard, you're holding the line, you're exemplifying the things that you expect, they will fucking show up for you. Whether it's a low-level employee or a top-tier, performer like we're talking about tonight, all of that negotiation doesn't matter if you're not setting the standard.
Yep.
If you're not holding the line. If you're not representing your brand. If you're not, implementing systems to make you and your business successful. So if you're going to come to the table and recruit a high-end position, you better make sure you got your shit in order. Because a high-end performer will sniff out your bullshit faster than anyone. And now you've not only lost that person in that position, now you've gained a reputation.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it doesn't even matter how much you're paying them.
Nope.
Like, you could pay them more money, but if you're full of shit.
And I think I'll close out and conclude it with this, and it goes back to the conversation and the negotiation, terms and price. Ask that person, as your leader, what do you expect from me? And that is where you can start to build that relationship, and you can start to identify, because if he has expectations that you're currently not meeting, don't fucking lie about it. Oh yeah, man, we do all of that, and you bring them on board, it's done. It's over. They'll fucking leave you and they'll go right back to the place they were. So just be fucking intentional about it, man.
I feel like you could just leave every episode of this saying that.
I probably do. Fuck. I wish. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, just the level of intentionality and fucking doing shit on purpose. But I'm shocked at how many people don't run their business on purpose.
Right.
That's probably why I say it. Right. And I'm not talking about, I'm fortunate enough, by the time my clients come to me, they're hungry, right?
They've had their asses kicked so much.
That's right. And they're hungry and humble. But Jesus Christ, so many people fucking show up in their job and their positions and their ownership or whatever, and they just do it. They operate that shit in passing. It's like, motherfucker, like, how do you expect performance out of your team if you're not the one drawing the fucking line? So I'm not going to get fired up about that, but man, it's frustrating to me.
Yep.
We'll save everyone 2.5 hours since we did that last week.
Jeremy.
Oh, man. You got anything in closing?
Nope.
Cool. Let's wrap it up. You can find Nate on Instagram at NateNewton87. I am on Instagram at The Tradesman Experience. Email is thetradesmanexperience@gmail.com. Website's thetradesmanexperience.com. And the YouTube channel is The Tradesman Experience. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Get out there, get shit done. Be proud to be a tradesman. See ya.